Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Erica and this is my very first YouTube video. I wanted to start a makeup and beauty channel for quite some time, but just didn't really know how to get started. And I was fortunate enough to subscribe to an amazing woman on this platform. Her name is Steph. Her channel name is Not Your Basic Steph, and she creates some of the most beautiful, dramatic eye looks and has the most soothing, relaxing voice I think I've ever heard in my life. And she and I have been chatting quite a bit in the comment section of her videos, and I shared with her that I really had a desire to start a channel. And she was just instantly encouraging and supportive, and she has been so much help to me. So before I get started on this video, I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you to Steph, and I love you. To get to know me a little bit, I am 46 years old and I live in Oregon. I have a 21-year-old daughter and a 19-year-old son. I am married and I work in the dental field. I've been an office manager at a practice for about 16 years. I started wearing makeup when I was about 11 and have worn it off and on throughout my life, but was never super into it until about 2.5, 3 years ago. My daughter got me the Colourpop Kathleenlights Dream Street palette and a little set of Eco Tools brushes. Now, up to that point, I had never used brushes to put on my eyeshadow. I had just used the little spongy applicator things, and so I had no idea what I was doing. And my daughter said, "Mom, go on YouTube. There are tons of channels and tutorials and they'll teach you everything you need to know." And so I did, and I just fell head over heels into the vortex of the beauty community. I have developed such a love and passion for makeup. I am not a professional makeup artist by any stretch, and I'm decent at applying makeup, but that's not really what this is about. For me, it's more about just sharing my love and passion and enthusiasm for makeup with you guys. So I'm just thrilled to have you as a part of this journey. I figured today what I would do is a video that a lot of creators are doing right now on this platform and talk to you guys about my favorite eyeshadow palettes for spring. Living in Oregon, it is so gray and dismal and rainy for the majority of our year. Starts in like October and goes through March, April. I mean, it's raining right now. And so when the sun comes out and the flowers start to bloom and the leaves on the trees start turning green, it's such a good feeling. And my husband and I were just talking the other night about how whether you're at work or the grocery store or just kind of out in the community, you can literally feel everybody around you just kind of taking this collective sigh of relief that the sun has finally come out. So it definitely inspires me to want to pull out my brighter colored palettes, my pastel palettes, just some neutrals with some really pretty, nice, soft colors in them, and use them during this time of year. So without any further ado, let's get started. So I figured what I would do is kind of do this by brand. I'm going to start off with Colourpop, and the first palette I want to talk about is the one that I mentioned at the very beginning of the video. This is the Kathleenlights Dream Street palette. This is such a unique color story, in my opinion. I've hit pan on 4 shades in this palette, but as you can see, the brighter, bolder colors I kind of haven't touched much. So I am really excited to get this palette out and really explore using those shades. When I very first started using makeup, I was terrified of bright, bold colors, and I'm not anymore. So it's going to be fun to just pull it out and use an oldie but a goodie and really deal with these, really use these greens and this pink here. The shimmers in this palette are gorgeous. The mattes are really nice. It's really easy to use, and I think it's fun because it gives you a kind of a mix of neutrals but colorful shades as well. So this is one of my absolute all-time favorite Colourpop palettes. The next one is the Little Ray of Sunshine palette. I think this is so cute. I love sunflowers, so it definitely speaks spring to me. The color story is pretty neutral, but I really love these yellowy mustardy tones, and it's got a couple deepening shades, which I really appreciate. And then these shades up here are really nice to use to blend out your transition shades. This is an all matte palette. Now, I don't typically do all matte looks. When I've used this, I've pulled like one of my single shimmers or a shimmer from another palette, which isn't a big deal to me necessarily, but I do really want to try just doing an all matte look. So I think this will be perfect for that. And the color story, I think, is perfect for spring. The next one is the Baby Got Peach palette. This is a monochromatic palette, and I think that this color story is so lovely for spring. Sorry, Just gonna hold this up right here. This middle shade right here, this like really bright peach, is my absolute favorite shade in this palette. It does have a pressed glitter. Now, I don't dislike glitters, but the Colourpop formula, I don't really jive with very well. I have gotten this in my eye before and it was not fun. It's just kind of a flaky, chunky glitter and it's just not my favorite. So I'll probably pop this shade out at some point and maybe substitute it with another shade from one of my Colourpop palettes. I love this palette because it's really easy to use. There's not a big color story. You're not going to spend 15 minutes trying to figure out which colors will go good together. It's just really easy and perfect for beginners. I do like the fact that there's a deepening shade in here, but I love these nice pastel peach colors, and the shimmers are great. I mean, it's just a solid Colourpop palette. Okay, the next one is my absolute favorite in the monochromatic series. This is the It's My Pleasure. It is just beautiful. I love purple eyeshadows, and I think they're so nice to use this time of year. This shade here is this really pretty kind of duochrome shimmer that I love. I love this purple satin as well. I always get compliments when I use this, so I'm really looking forward to pulling it out and creating some fun looks with it. I love the mix of purples and pinks in this palette, and it's just a solid formula and an excellent Colourpop palette, so I'm really looking forward to playing with that again. The next one is the Aura and Out palette. Now, this is one of their tie-dye collection. This is the green, kind of aqua green color story. This also has these kind of peachy tones too, so again, you're getting a good mix of kind of neutrals but brighter tones. It does have a pressed glitter. I will not be using that. But the rest of these I think are stunning. I love these two shimmer shades right here. This one's really pretty too. It's not going to give you a really deep look, but I think sometimes it's nice, especially during the spring, to just create a nice soft look with these beautiful pastel shades. And the last Colourpop palette is the Garden Variety. This is springtime in a palette. I mean, look at this. It's gorgeous. It's got these really pretty flowers. It's kind of raised up, so it feels nice to touch. And the inside is just spring. I love this palette. However, and I'm probably the only person that you're ever going to hear say this, I don't really do well with the Super Shock formula. That's this shade right here. For some reason, no matter what I do, it just does not adhere to my eyelid. It just kind of lifts off. I've used my finger, I've used a brush, I've sprayed my brush, I've used glitter glue, and for some reason, nothing works. So if you guys have any suggestions of something that you think I could try to get this to work, I would really appreciate it, because what happened was I used this a couple times. This was a failure, so I just got pissed and threw it in a drawer and left it there. So when I was going through my palettes to pick some for this video, I thought, oh, God, you need to pull that out and use it again. And then the memories came back of the Super Shock disaster. So, but ultimately, it's a really nice palette. These matte shades here are really pretty. They work really well. I love this green shimmer. I love this kind of purple shimmer, this champagne color, this kind of peachy shimmer. This is, I think, yeah, this is also like a kind of a dark mauve. And I just think it's so beautiful for this time of year. So I'm going to not be a brat. I'm going to pull it out and try it again. I'll let you know how it goes. But I really would appreciate any suggestions that you have so that I can actually use a Super Shock shadow. That'd be great. Thanks. Okay, now we're going to switch to Makeup Revolution. I personally really like this brand. I know not everybody does. I know sometimes the palettes can be a little hit or miss, but I've been fortunate enough that the palettes that I've gotten, I love, and I think they work really well. I think they're perfect for beginners, and that's one of the main things I really love about the formula of Makeup Revolution palettes. So I have two here. This is the I Heart Revolution series. The first is the coffee palette. I think the packaging of this is so cute. I love coffee. It's got this really cool texture. It's almost like a pencil eraser. And I just think these are adorable. So open it up here. This is the inside. The color story is very neutral. Some might even say boring. I personally think it's really nice. I love these soft tones, this lilac color here, pink, this kind of peachy color. And I think this is really nice for this time of year. I've used this a few times. Every time I've used this palette, I've gotten compliments. So I'm definitely going to be pulling it out and using it again. I like this formula because like I said, it's very user-friendly and great for beginners. It's not super pigmented. It's not intimidating. You can add more, kind of build up your look, which to me is so much easier than applying a ton of pigment and then having to figure out how to blend it off of your skin. It's so much easier to just kind of add more as you go. So this is perfect for that. The next one is the Tasty Avocado palette. This, again, adorable packaging. I love avocados. Green eyeshadows are my absolute favorite, so I just think this is a wonderful palette. When you open it up in here, it's got a good mix of neutrals and bright greens, dark greens, medium greens, and I just think this is a really fun palette to play with. The shimmer formula in these palettes is a little different. You kind of have to finesse it a little bit. It's kind of flaky, kind of chunky, but once you get it laid down on your lid, I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. And the longevity of these palettes I love. They don't crease, they don't flake, they don't fade, and that was a real nice surprise when I used this for the first time. I do like the shimmers in this palette. This green here is one of my favorites. I love this one too. It's kind of a bluey green. And then you have this really deep brown shimmer, which I really like. It's kind of a satin. So you can go more bold, you can go less bold, and I think that's a really good option to have if you're just starting out with makeup. So highly recommend these palettes. And Makeup Revolution has sales on their website all the time. I think I got those both for like 50% off, so I love them. The next brand I want to talk about is a brand called Profusion, and they make some really nice, affordable palettes. They sell Profusion at the Walmart here and also a store called Fred Meyer, which is similar to a Walmart or a Target. And I was absolutely blown away when I found these because they are $5 a piece. And the quality is absolutely outstanding. And I don't mean just for a $5 palette, I mean for any palette. And I was just thrilled when I tried this for the first time, and it was so good. So the first palette is the Citrine Palette. This is a yellowy gold orangey color story. There's not a lot of depth to this palette, but I like that because during this time of year, sometimes I just want to make just a nice, soft, pretty look. And this definitely does that for me. The shimmers in this palette are beautiful, and I think for more mature lids like I have, it definitely does not exaggerate texture. It just looks so like classy and pretty, and I just love using this palette. And I do love the mix of the kind of golds here and then these orangey shades as well, so I'm really gonna get a lot of use out of this during the spring. The next one is my absolute favorite in this series. They have, I think, 5 or 6 of these monochromatic palettes, and I have a couple other ones, but this is the Emeralds palette. This is gorgeous, and I love green, so this is perfect for me. I like the fact that there's some neutral shades in here as well. If you're intimidated by color, you can start off using those and then slowly add the greens in as you feel more comfortable. I know I definitely did that when I first started. And I love these 2 shimmers here. They're kind of a bluey green, which I think is really interesting. And I love these 2 green mattes as well. The quality of this, I cannot express enough how wonderful this is. And I feel like if this brand can do it, then every brand should be able to do it because it's just stunning. Okay, the next palette I'm going to talk about is a different brand. This is Nomad Cosmetics. This is an indie brand, and I found out about this brand through watching Amy Loves Makeup. She talked about this palette and just went berserk, and so I decided to go ahead and pick it up myself. This is the Tokyo Harajuku palette, and I think the packaging is super, super cute. It's got kitties and bunnies and chicks and ladybugs, and I just think it's adorable. So the inside is all pastels. The top row is a row of mattes, then we have a row of satins in the middle, and then at the bottom we have this incredible life-changing row of shimmers. And I know that sounds dramatic, but I'm telling you, when you try this, if you haven't yet, you'll understand what I'm talking about. This shade here in particular is one of my favorites. It looks kind of pinky in the pan, but when you put it on your eyelid, it shifts to this like sky blue. It's just beautiful. And when I very first got this palette, I kind of didn't know what to do with it because I just hadn't really had a lot of experience with pastels. And I'm subscribed to Katie, Makeup for Last Time. I absolutely love her. And she has a wonderful, really helpful video where she does a 3 looks, 1 palette with this. And so I haven't used this since I watched her video. So I'm really looking forward to pulling this out and using some of the techniques I learned from her and creating some really beautiful, fun springtime looks with this. The next brand I'm going to talk about is BH Cosmetics. Now, they were one of the very first brands I tried after my Colourpop experience, and I just fell in love. They're such a solid brand. They make some really nice, beautiful palettes, and their formula is just incredible. So the first one I want to talk about is the Opalescent palette. This is a very neutral color story. Some might even say boring, but I love it. I do really enjoy using this because I think it's very office friendly. And so since I work in an office, I do get a lot of use out of this palette. I think it's got some really nice colors for spring. It's got these pinks, these purples here. It does have quite a few neutral brown tones, maybe more than it needs to have, but I still think it's really fun to pull this out and use it. And I'm really looking forward to it because I just think it's a really easy color story to work with. The next one is the Zodiac palette, the Love Signs from BH. This is a really cool palette, the way it's laid out. I think it's really fun. BH has this really unique, beautiful baked shadow formula for their shimmers in this palette. I have never used a baked shadow that was this good. I mean, it's perfect. I love this pink. I love this kind of aqua blue color. And I think this is a really nice color story for spring. And I think you can kind of see a theme here. I do really enjoy palettes that have some neutral options and some colorful options because I think it just really works well for people that are just starting out with makeup or people that just kind of want to use color sparingly. But these baked eyeshadows literally look like liquid metal on your lid. So, and the good thing about BH is that they constantly have sales on their website. I got this for 50% off, and I would just keep an eye out because, like I said, they always have really good sales, and that's a really solid palette to own. The next one is the Avocado Toast palette. I used this actually yesterday when I went to work, and I love the look I created, and I think this is super cute packaging. On the inside is just gorgeous. It's got a really nice mix of greens and neutrals. The look I created, I used this as my transition shade, this on the outer V, and then a combination of this and this on my lid. And then I blended out my transition shade with this shade here. And I just think this is spectacular. The formula is so nice. The shimmers, the mattes, the whole thing. It's just such an easy palette to use and beautiful, beautiful color story. So again, BH has a lot of sales. I think this one has been for sale before, so keep your eye out for that because I would highly recommend it. And my last BH Cosmetics palette is the Pistachio Sweet Shop palette. Now this is the most incredible green palette I have ever used. I don't know that I will ever need to get another green eyeshadow palette after trying this one because I think it's gonna put them all to shame. The row of mattes here and the row of shimmers here is they're just stunning. They're absolutely incredible. The formula of this palette, I think, is probably their best formula they have yet to come up with. And I just hope that with each additional palette that they create, that they use this formula because it is absolutely spectacular. I've created some really fun, beautiful green looks with this. And this is fun because now that I'm more used to color, it's really fun to play with. So I really want to get this out and use this during the springtime into the summertime. I'm so excited. I can't wait. Okay, so the next brand is Juvia's Place. Juvia's Place is one of my absolute favorite brands. Their shimmer formula is like no other. And this palette here, this is the Nubian 3 Coral, is perfect for this time of year. It's got a really cool mix of cool and warm tones. When I first saw this, I wasn't really sure how I felt about it, and I got it on sale and gave it a try and just loved the combination of the silver and these corals. I just think it looks so nice, and I definitely want to get this out, use it during this time of year. I would use this all year round, but I do think it's appropriate for spring, and I just absolutely love their formula. They just kill it with their shimmer formula. It's incredible. And then I have another brand that I don't really hear a lot of people talking about on YouTube. I have never used these palettes, but I do have other palettes from this brand. The brand is Caribbea, and I absolutely love their formula. So I picked these up at TJ Maxx for really cheap. I think they were like $5 or $6 a piece. There's 3 palettes in this series. I was only able to get 2. This is the Life of the Fiesta. I think this is such vibrant, beautiful, eye-catching packaging. I love the artwork on the front. I think it's really cool. And then when you open it up, it's got these just gorgeous, vibrant tones. Now, this is a pressed glitter formula that I really like. There's this one, and this one. I have other Caribbea palettes that have this pressed glitter formula in it, and I really enjoy using it. It's very finely milled, goes on really nicely with a wet brush. It doesn't fall into your eyes or all over your face. It's really, really nice. And I think this color story is beautiful for spring and into the summertime. So I hope I get a lot of use out of this over the next few months here. And just really excited to get to know this palette. And the next one is the Flower After Hours Caribbea palette. Again, beautiful packaging, love the artwork, super eye-catching. I love that about it. And I think this one might be even better for the springtime because it's got these really bright pinks and yellows and orange and green. There is one pressed glitter in here, but it also gives you the neutral option, which I really think is nice. So yeah, definitely I will let you know how these palettes perform. If you'd like to see me create looks with these, I'd be more than happy to, so just let me know. But yeah, really excited to get to know those palettes. Okay, we're on our last palette. This is it. This palette is one that I was absolutely thrilled to get. I have wanted to try Kaleidos makeup for so long, and when I heard that Angelica Nyqvist was collabing with them and creating her palette, I was just ecstatic. So this is the Club Nebula palette. I have this on my eyes today. I have used this palette more than I think any other palette that I own besides the Dream Street one. When I first got this, I used it for a week straight, put it down for a couple days, and then just had to go right back to it. And I think I used it for another week, maybe a week and a half, because I use different palettes every day. So that's unheard of for me. The packaging is so beautiful. It's so unique, so fun. And then the inside is just fantastic. So today, for the look I created, I used this as my transition shade, this in the outer V, and then I used this on the lid, and then, let's see, I used this on my lower lash line. Now, probably be helpful if I read you the shade names, but I need to wear my glasses because my eyesight is for shit, and I don't have my glasses, and I don't want to butcher the names, and I don't even think I could read them without my glasses. Sucks getting old. But anyway, I just think this is such a unique, beautiful color story. You have everything you could possibly want in this palette. You've got the greens and the blues and the purples and the reds and the orange, and the shimmers are unlike any I've ever used. They have this really unique formula. They're really easy to apply, and then they have this really interesting shift to them. I absolutely love that I own this, and I want to continue to use it and use it and use it all year round, but especially during the springtime. I absolutely adore Angelica. She was one of the first creators that I started watching on YouTube, and I was just so happy for her that she was able to do this collab. So definitely wanted to support her. All right, that's it. We've come to the very end. I so appreciate you hanging out with me and watching my video. It means the world to me. I would love to have you subscribe, like, comment. I really want to get to know you guys, and I just am so thrilled that you are a part of this journey with me. So I hope to be uploading soon and providing you with more content. Please keep your eye out for that. But in the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful day or evening wherever you are. Again, thank you so, so much, and please take good care of yourself. Bye.